Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Recently, we've seen several different Battlefield 6 developers respond to a handful of pretty significant things going on in game. We're talking major issues and bugs that are still going on with aiming and feeling not consistent and not perfected, according to the devs. We've also seen responses to some pretty big performance issues and a few other things here and there. So we've got quite a few things to break down today, all of which are pretty impactful on general gameplay here. So starting first, we have this tweet from X Factor Gaming saying, Battlefield changed how your sense works while countering recoil going left to right when aiming. This change has changed the way your sense feels when shooting and countering left and right. It now is much higher. We talked about this update a few weeks back when it actually went live, and Florian, one of the main devs here that we see oftentimes communicating a ton on Twitter, ended up posting saying it was completely bugged before. The amount of aim input you need to compensate for recoil would be very inconsistent from shot to shot compared to other times you'd need to compensate for the intended amount, sometimes double, sometimes quadruple, sometimes 8 times, basically saying that if you were moving right and a gun was kicking up into the right, it'd speed you up more, obviously, as you're shooting. And sometimes it would make you have major jumps, sometimes it would be a normal jump, sometimes it would be quadruple that. So like, obviously just adding an insane amount of inconsistency to overall gameplay there. So good news that they were able to discover that, fix that. Florian does also mention, though, and this is what's really important now looking forward here, now it's much more consistent, although it's not perfect yet, but we are working on getting it perfect for a future update. It definitely means that recoil will feel a bit different now if you got used to the bugged recoil, though, of course. So it's still going to be a learning thing. Muscle memory is really hard to establish when they're constantly adjusting and fixing these bugs, but they do say, Florian does say specifically here, that we've got yet another big aiming update coming at some point in a future update. No ETA here. This could be something with season 2. This could be mid-season 2. We have no idea, but an update to perfect the aiming is coming at some point in the future so that there is a complete consistency across how your recoil interacts with you looking left, right, up, down, and actively moving your screen while trying to control recoil in general. So good news there that a major update is coming to address that. Another tweet towards Florian here. Are you guys aware of this frame skipping or mouse stuttering whenever I run and press these keys, for example, 2, 3, and 4, and also move on the mouse? It happens randomly when I press the WASD keys while running and moving the mouse around. It includes a clip here that shows that there are certain stutters that take place when there's multiple inputs happening and a person is moving their mouse around. There's been a lot of complaints about performance issues on mouse and keyboard this year when it comes to micro stutters and various things of that nature. Florian does confirm we've heard about this issue, wanted some further details on what exactly was being run here, if there was MSI Afterburner, Riva Tuner, things like that. Does it happen if those are closed when you play? Can you share PC specs? So wanting to get more information, but does say, hey, we've heard about this issue. It does seem like it's something they are fully investigating here for sure. And that's kind of followed up because another tweet here says, any update you guys have on the mouse and keyboard stutter caused by the anti-cheat? Many players are suffering from this. I tried to investigate it while only having Microsoft services running, and none gaming mouse and keyboard still has like this jitter. Controller doesn't cause stutter. I hope this helps. Basically, again, showcasing that there is stutter that's caused by certain input here, and the anti-cheat driver is apparently something that could actually be impacting this, which obviously is pretty detrimental in super niche situations, because if you do hit these combined keys the second that you're trying to also move around, well, then you're going to get these micro stutters. That's going to throw off your aim. That's going to diminish your gameplay experience. You might not get it the next gunfight, though, so it's this up and down thing, but still really problematic. And Florian again does confirm nothing to share at this point, but we are investigating this. So basically, when they say they're investigating it, it means they don't really have a great timetable as to when this could be fixed, as opposed to saying, hey, we have this coming in a future update, like a few of the upcoming tweets that we'll cover here in just a moment reference. But this does mean that this is an issue that the devs are fully aware of and that they will be looking into to address at some point in the future. It's on their radar, and directly responding to it does confirm that it'll be fixed. It's just a matter of when and not so much if, as if they, weren't responding to any of these issues. So for those who have been experiencing these micro stutters on keyboard and mouse, the devs are well aware, and hopefully we get some good news on that front here in the near future. Of course, as we see more dev responses, because I'm sure, especially now that the devs are sort of coming back from break over time here in the early new year, we're going to get more interaction, more engagement yet again with Battlefield comms and the devs individually talking about various different updates, fixes, and changes coming to the game. And you guys know this is the place to be to stay up to date with everything going on in Battlefield. So you want to make sure sure you're aware of when new updates go out, when there's new changes, the devs reveal new information. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications while you're at it. And if you enjoy this video, a like rating is always seriously appreciated as well. Helps grow the channel, and share the video around to keep more players informed. Now, this is actually a pretty interesting dev response here, because there's been a lot of different concerns and a lot of different talk recently about the state of Battlefield 6 and Battlefield RedSec, and things not necessarily going that great so far. Did EA kind of drop the ball here post-launch? Battle Nonsense ends up quoting this original tweet from X Factor Gaming saying, "My guess is multiplayer is put into sort of maintenance mode with content drops during seasons. We won't see many big reworks coming, and focus is going to be on RedSec so that it can make some money." We actually have Julian Manilov here, another dev, responding and saying, "BS. New content for both multiplayer and RedSec is and has been in development as planned. The game is doing really good, so there's no need to panic." Basically saying, yeah, we're, aware of the state of the game, but the content schedule is what the content schedule has always been planned to be. There's not going to be a concern there. We're not going to see, focus drift away from multiplayer or RedSec to try and fix one versus the other. Keep in mind, it's also Ripple Effects primarily working on RedSec here, leading the development there. And then you have all the other various studios working on multiplayer. So while, yes, one might get more updates than the other in any given patch, they're not going to be taking away from each other as we continue to see future updates, both content and then gameplay adjustments rolled out here in the coming days and weeks. And then we had an interesting back and forth here with Julian Manilov as well. Otter ends up posting saying back on the 18th that this patch is absolutely atrocious. There's random crashes, there's weird stealth buffs, and aim assist got cranked up. It's terrible to play. The amount of no armor and super bullets has significantly increased as well, talking about what he feels based on this update. This person responds and says, "What causes the super bullets? It happens so often. There's nothing about it online." And Otter says, "It seems to be related to when you have no armor. As a bug, it shows black hit markers." Julian actually responds to this and says, "Some fixes were already done on those. Currently, they ended up in the second and third upcoming patches from now. So unfortunately, it's a case of they've already fixed some ongoing bugs in the game right now, but there's still multiple updates away. We have to wait for a few more patches to go out before these can actually get fixed." And we've seen this happen a handful of times already, where the devs confirm, "Hey, we know this is a bug. We're aware that it's broken right now. We've got this in an update, but that update's not due out for a little while now. So we just kind of have to wait in this state of the game being busted, the game being broken in certain regards." Otter does respond and said, "That's great. They definitely picked up a lot, so it'll be easier to swallow until then." Julian does say, "Yep, unfortunately, someone introduced a new bypassing armor bug in the last patch. Sorry about that." So they're well aware that there are a lot of issues with armor interactions and everything going on there, but good news is that'll be fixed again fully in some upcoming updates here early on into the new year, depending on the frequency in which they're putting out some of these major updates here in the next few days and weeks. Certainly, we'll be keeping an eye on all of this, though, as it unfolds, as we see official communication from the Battlefield channels as updates actually go out. I'll be keeping you guys informed with the latest need-to-know info, so be sure to hit that sub button. And if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on your way out. But that's going to wrap things up for this one. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.